What's up, Ann? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday to you all. What's up, Tony? Happy Friday to you all. Salil, good morning. Happy Friday to you all. What's going on? What's going on? Happy Friday to you all. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate that. Big homie, what's going on, big homie? Let's get it, big homie. It's Friday, man. We got to show up, show out. It is Friday. We got to show up and show out. What's going on, big homie? What's up, Chrissy? So good to see you. So good to see you. Mindset Masters family is in the building. So good to see you. What's up, Lala? Joni, what's going on? What's up, Moni? So good to see you, beloved. So good to see you. So good to see you. Always a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure to see you. Mindset Masters families in the building. What's up, Miss Lauren? So good to see you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, you guys. I appreciate that. Do me a favor, share the live to your stories real quick, you guys. If you can, I appreciate it. Share the live to your stories real quick, please. Cosmic G, what's going on, Cosmic G? I appreciate that. Again, do me a favor real quick, you guys. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. What's up, Lynetta? So good to see you, beloved. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up so that we can get the medicine out. What's up, Red? So good to see you. Good, Cosmic G. I'm glad to hear it. I love the content. Keep shooting. Loving the content. Keep shooting. Loving the content. Loving the content. Keep shooting. That part right there, Destiny. That part right there. Friday energy every day. Every day. So good to see you. So good to see you. Love it. So good to see you. Greece is in the building. Greece is in the building. Okay, Greece. What's going on? Famous. Blessed I see you. I see you. What's up, Asia? So good to see you all. Peace and blessings to you all. What's up, Coach? So good to see you, Coach Venus. Honey by Nature, what's going on? Ghana's in the building. Okay, Ghana. Ghana's in this bad boy. Know my worth. I know that's right. What's going on? Brianna, what's going on? What's going on, Brianna? Young Phenom in the building. T Benz, I see you. What's up, Connie? What's up, Raina? I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Raina. I appreciate that. What's up, Lynette? I appreciate that, Raina. My tea therapy. Do me a favor again, real quick, you guys. Share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Let's get the likes up so that we can get the medicine out. You guys know here in the Mindset and Masters community, we got to do the work ourselves. TikTok, Brick Pack. What's up, family? I love that video. I love that video. I love that video that you created, my brother. I love that video. I reposted it. I love it. It's fire. Again, you guys, just share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. And then, what's up, Faith? Yeah, Brick Pack that videos like that. Like that, like that. Got my Tara in the building, so I know we locked and loaded. We are locked and loaded. Nephew's in the building. What's up, nephew? So good to see you, beloved. Tanisha's in the building. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Performance time. What's up, D? Performance time. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, beloved. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, let's. What's up, Nicole? I see you. Sefe, my brother, Mandy, Nicole, all in the building. Let's go. I think we can pretty much, yeah. What's up, Joya? So good to see you. So good to see you, love. What's up, Alicia? So good to see you. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let me get this clock. Let me get this clock rolling, and then we're gonna pull up, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't on the bus. You just ain't gonna be on the bus, man. The bus is leaving the bus station. You know what I'm saying? We finna gas this jet up and get out of here. You miss your flight. You just miss your flight. You come in late. You just come in late. That part right there, Tree. You got to buckle up. What's up, nephew? So good to see you, brother. So Joy said, I got my seat. Joy said, I got my seat. I don't know what y'all talking about. He said, I'm in that first class, boy. Letitia, I appreciate that, beloved. So I'm in that first class, coach. I don't know who back there ain't coach, but I'm in that first class right now. What's up, Susie? Warrior Princess is in the building. Okay, let's roll. Boom. Again, real quick before we blast off, do me a favor. Let me even just, I'm disrespecting this whole live right now. Type me in the comments real quick if you haven't, if this is your first time on a live, type me in the comments if this is your very first time in this community with me. Okay. Very first time on a live. Okay, cool. Real quick. I was about to disrespect this whole live because I was about to just pull off. Real quick, my name is Jordan Williams. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in self-mastery, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, relationship mastery, consciousness. Those are my areas of mastery. I am also the best-selling author of this book, The Secret of Awareness. How powerful are you ready to be? You know, it's the book is a bestseller. The book is a game changer. The book is literally being represented right now in every country on the face of this earth. The book is everywhere. And what it's doing is it's bringing people together because that's what self-awareness does. Self-awareness is just a bridge. It unites people. There are other systems in place, and I don't need to go into what those other systems are, but there's other systems in place that disconnect people, that keep people detached. You know, self-awareness unites people. It's literally the bridge to everything. But most importantly, it's the bridge to you becoming unlocked. It's the bridge to you becoming the greatest version of yourself. It's the bridge to you becoming the most powerful version of yourself. In order for you to become the most powerful version of yourself, you have to walk across self-awareness as bridge. You don't get there any other way. Your PhD won't unlock the most powerful version of you. Religion will not unlock the most powerful version of you. Whatever you learned at Harvard, Yale, or UCLA, or wherever it is you may have gone to school, will not unlock the most powerful version of you. The only thing that will unlock the most powerful version of you is self-awareness, period, point blank. And so that's what I teach. I teach self-awareness. I've been doing it for 2 decades. I've taught some of the most powerful people on the face of this earth currently, from athletes to entertainers, fighters, doctors, lawyers, executive CEOs, you know, everyday regular moms and pops, you name it, I've coached them. I've been a lot of people's secret weapon for a long time. I teach something known as universal truth. And universal truth is just spiritual intelligence. You know, I'm going to speak a level of intelligence. I'm going to speak a level of spiritual intelligence that's going to transcend your mind. It's going to transcend your programming and conditioning. It's going to transcend your ego personality, meaning that I can speak in a way where I know how to get around all of that. Now, I've been doing it for so long. I know how to get past all of the barriers in you. If I trigger you, that's a gift to you, because every trigger points out where you're still not healed. Every trigger points out where you still haven't evolved. Every trigger points out where there's some belief system that you're holding on to that's out of alignment with the truth. Anytime that you are triggered, you are only being triggered in that moment because you're hanging on to a belief that doesn't align with you spiritually. You're hanging on to a belief that doesn't align with reality. That's why you become upset. Period. If someone triggers you, it's because something that you're hanging on to is out of alignment with who you really are. That's the only way you can be triggered. No other way to be triggered. So the trigger is a gift. Stop looking at the person as being the problem. You are the problem, because the trigger happens in you. The person doesn't trigger you. Your trigger triggers you. Your trigger is what activates the anger. Your trigger is what activates the rage. The person doesn't do that, though you're going to blame that person. Why are you blaming that person? Because you lack the emotional intelligence and you don't understand what's happening in you in that moment. And when you don't understand what's happening in you, the first thing we do is we blame someone else. We blame people for why we are where we are in life. We blame people for why we got hurt. We blame people for why they betrayed us. We blame people for the fact that they cheated on us. We blame people for the fact that they lied to us. People don't owe you anything, beloved. Wake up out of your illusions. People don't owe you anything. Stop walking through this world thinking that people owe you something. People don't owe you anything. God handed that person a life. That life belongs to them. They get to do whatever they want to do with that life. Somebody tricked you into believing that people need to be committed to you and they need to be loyal to you and they need to live up to some self-imposed honor system that you've created in your mind. That's what's hurting you. You're not seeing reality. You're seeing your illusions about reality. You're seeing your fantasies about reality because you didn't let somebody trick you into thinking that somebody needs to take their entire life and move in a way that's in alignment with what you see fit so that you can be happy and so that you can feel fulfilled and so that you can have joy in your life and peace in your life and all of that. But you got to get out of your illusion. That's what's been hurting you. Got to snap out all of that. Get into reality. People will always be more loyal to their desires than they are to you. People will always be more loyal to their needs than they are to you. I can tell you that now. And anytime you've been hurt in the past, that's what happened. Somebody moved in a way that benefited them and moved in a way that didn't benefit you, and you called that betrayal. No, that's that person living their life the way they see fit. See, the selfish thing in life. See, let me tell you what selfishness is in awareness. It's selfish for you to want me to live my life the way you see fit. But it's not selfish for you to live your life how you see fit. How I choose to live my life is on me. The choices and the decisions that I make from moment to moment that benefit me has nothing to do with you. But you didn't let somebody program you and condition you to believe that people are supposed to be loyal to you and committed to you. No, people are loyal to themselves. Before they are awakened, they are loyal to themselves. They're loyal to their needs. They're loyal to their desires. They're loyal to what's in their best interest at that time. And every now and then, a person may start moving in a way that benefits you as well. But I can't take my whole life and start moving in a way that makes you feel most comfortable so that you can be happy, because somebody's going to suffer in that moment. I'm going to either move in a way that benefits you or I'm going to move in a way that benefits me. Which one are we doing? Let me say that one more time. I'm going to move through life in a way that benefits me, or I'm going to move through life in a way that benefits you. But somebody's going to suffer, because if I'm living my life to suit your needs, that means that my needs aren't being met. But you're supposed to be loyal to me. That's an illusion. Loyalty only lives in your mind. Wake up out of your illusions. Commitment lives in your mind. It doesn't exist anywhere in reality. Tell me what street we drive down to go find commitment right now. Tell me what street can we drive down to go find loyalty right now. All of that is a story you're telling yourself. Loyalty is a story that you sell yourself. Commitment is a story that you sell yourself. And it only lives in your mind. It doesn't live in the mind of that person. And when you start seeing reality as it really is and not as you imagine it to be, you'll stop suffering. Too much truth? Just let me know if that's too much truth for you. Most people don't want the truth. You want your comfortable little fantasy so that I can keep getting hurt, coach. I want people to keep hurting me until that's what it's all about. You got to see, we got to suffer enough in relationships until you get disillusioned with all relationships so that you can finally find your next best relationship. But you got to get out of all of the illusions. Thinking that people owe you something. This life is about you and how powerful you're going to become. You can become so powerful that people are sitting and do anything you need them to do for you in that moment. But you got to transform yourself into the most powerful version of you. Stop waiting on somebody else to do it. Transform yourself into the most powerful version of you. So people feel so honored and so blessed to even have access to you. I'm just being real. That was the whole game. It was never about relationships. We didn't made it about relationships. We didn't made this whole life about some relationships. That's the most basic aspect of life is relationships. Never discovered ourselves because we was too busy chasing other people. That was the problem. We never discovered ourselves. Never discovered ourselves because we were so busy chasing what society said we needed. Never discovered ourselves. I need to be in a relationship. Who told you that? I'm just asking. Who sold you that story? They done sold you the story to such a degree that you think anytime you're not in a relationship, something's wrong with your life. Damn, I ain't been in a relationship so long. You think something wrong with you now. You've been so programmed that you think anytime that you didn't been in your life a little 6 months, a year, you haven't been in with somebody, that something is wrong with you. Because you don't have anybody in your life. That's how programmed we are. What's up, Rika? So good to see you, beloved. I'm lonely. You don't know who you are. I'm bored. You don't know who you are. They complete me. You don't know who you are. That part right there, Ann. Yeah, people just don't know. People just don't know. They don't know who we don't know who we are, man. We only know what other people tell us we are. Do me a favor real quick, you guys. Let's get the likes up so we can get the medicine out. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories real quick if you haven't already done so. I'm telling you, the whole key to the game is to become. We don't understand. No, I wish you guys really understood it. I wish you really understood it. I wish you really understood it, man. I'm just being so serious. I wish you really understood it. You running the wrong race. You just running the wrong race. But you are running, but just the wrong race. You said, what was that question again? Once you find yourself and know who you are, how does what? It looked like it might have been a good question. Let me see. That might be one of them lines. How the relationship, they're gonna see the whole purpose. And I'm gonna say this real quick, and then we'll get into this live. Great question, first and foremost. Great question, Key. The purpose of the relationship is unconditional love. Right, unconditional love is the ultimate, right? Because you don't need the relationship. You have to transcend the relationship. Why do you have to transcend the relationship? Because the relationship is transactional, beloved. The relationship is transactional. All relationships are predicated on transactions. Transactions are predicated on conditional love. So you can't fully love that person if you need that person to perform for you. When you transcend the relationship, you step into unconditional love. When I step into unconditional love, there's no more transactions. There's no more I need you to perform for me. There's no more I only love you if. There's no more of that. Why? Because I've healed myself and you've healed yourself, because that's how we were able to get into unconditional love. You can only step into unconditional love when you are healed.
The reason why 9 out of 10 people on the face of this earth don't love themselves unconditionally because they haven't fully integrated their dark in their light. What's their dark in their light? The light is easy. That's all of the wonderful moments that's happened in your life. That's what the light is. The dark is all of your pain. The dark is your suffering. The dark is your childhood trauma. The dark is your programming and conditioning. The dark is your ego personality. The dark is all of your suffering. Okay, that's the part of us that we suppress. And so when self-awareness is going to help you to integrate your dark in your light to where you understand your dark is what makes you powerful. Your light is not what makes you powerful. Your light is what you give to the world, but your dark is what makes your light significant. But we don't understand that when we lack self-awareness. So we suppress the very thing that makes us the most powerful. So how can you love yourself unconditionally if there's parts of your dark that you're rejecting? There's things that have happened in your yesterdays that you don't fully accept. You don't fully understand. So you can't love yourself unconditionally because you don't love the entirety of you. There's pieces and parts that you're not willing to accept about yourself. So it's impossible for you to love yourself unconditionally. And if it's impossible for you to love yourself unconditionally, how can you love someone else unconditionally? How can I love you unconditionally and the love is coming from me? How can I give you something that I'm unable to give myself? So when two self-aware people step into a relationship, they transcend the relationship very quickly. Why? Because they're both coming in being unconditional love. I don't need you to perform for me. I don't need you to be my happiness. I don't need you to be my joy. All of those things come from me. Only the self-aware person understands that. The love I experience is coming from me. I'm not experiencing my partner's love. I'm experiencing my own love through my partner. And my partner experiencing their own love through me. You know, all emotion is inbound. All feeling is inbound. So how can you possibly be experiencing someone else's love when all of your emotions are inbound and all of your feelings are inbound? You don't have outbound emotions. You don't have outbound feelings. This is why when you experience anger, the anger only lives in you. This is why when you experience resentment, frustration lives in you. The person outside of you doesn't experience what you're experiencing. You can be standing next to a person at a Starbucks and that person is having a complete meltdown. You don't feel that. Why don't you feel that? Because emotions are not outbound. Feelings are not outbound. You sitting there next to a person getting ready to go home and take themselves out the game. You don't even know it. The same way that people have walked up to you. I'm gonna tell you what happened to you, and I wasn't even there. Somebody walked up to you one day, and to qualify my point, somebody walked up to you one day and they asked you, how you doing? And you told them that you were fine, but you weren't in that moment. In that moment, you was ready to snap. In that moment, you had a complete meltdown emotionally, but you told that person you were fine. You put on a fake little smile. You sit there and you chit-chatted for a moment, and then you went on about your business. But in that moment, you felt terrible. But you put on that mask and you were able to do it. Well, why didn't that person know? Why did that person know that you weren't feeling good internally? Because your emotions and your feelings are inbound only. Which qualifies my point. So when you're in a relationship with someone, you don't experience their love, you only experience your own. What they are is the objects or the mechanisms that give you something to attach meaning to unlock something that was already in you. We don't experience anyone else, we only experience ourselves. You are the universe personified. You don't understand how powerful you are. Everything is in you right now. Everything that you see outside of you also exists within you. You are consciousness itself. The day y'all realize that, man, your whole life gonna change. The day you realize that, your whole life gonna change. Why would consciousness need to experience itself through someone else? That doesn't make sense. The same way that you are consciousness, that person that you are in love with is consciousness as well. They're just a different version of consciousness. They're just a different extension of consciousness. They're just consciousness wearing a different face. That's all they are. The day you realize this, man, our whole world is going to change. Every person that you see is just consciousness wearing a different face. You are consciousness showing up as you. Your girlfriend is consciousness showing up as her. Your kids are a form of consciousness showing up as themselves. Every single person is consciousness wearing a different face, period. And some people are operating out of their dark and some people are operating out of their light. And that's beautiful. You need the balance between the two. So in your mind, you might be saying, well, why is there evil in this world? And why is there this in this world? And why is there chaos in this world? And why is there pain? Because some people are still operating out of their dark, beloved, and some people are operating out of your light. Chances are you're operating out of your light, which means that you're operating from kindness and you're operating from love. But you got to have that balance. You got to have that balance. It's what makes our world balanced. Everybody can't be operating out of the light and everybody can't be operating out of the dark. This is how you become the most powerful version of yourself. Because what you're going to do is you're going to alchemize every single person that's operating from their darkness. That's what makes you badass. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Because then you're going to get caught up in groupthink and you won't understand how powerful you are. Your job is to alchemize and transform every single person that's operating out of darkness when they encounter you. Damn who they encounter on the other side of the world. When that person encounters you, you transform it. That's what I'm doing every day. I do it every day. To qualify my point, I'm doing it right now. I'm taking people that are in darkness right now and I'm bringing them to that light. How am I bringing them to the light? By waking them up to who they are. That's the whole thing. That's the whole game. That's what life is all about. You want to become the best player in the game called life. You want to become God's #1 student. You want to be in alignment with him that no matter who he puts in your path, you can transform that person just like he can. That's what the whole game is about. The game was never about chasing people. The game was never about religion. The game was never about who can I get to love me. How many people can you transform? That's how you win the game in his eyes. Damn how much money you acquire, you're not changing nobody's life like that. Damn how many cars you have, you're not changing nobody's life like that. Damn how many houses you get or how famous you are, you're not changing anybody's life like that. How many people can you take that were in dark when they encountered you and bring them to the light? In his eyes, that's what makes you badass. Anything else is programming and conditioning. Anything else is what society has tricked you into believing. I'm the best in the world with what I do. I may not know how to change your tires. I may not know how to change the oil in your car. I may not be able to put a new roof on your house. I'll transform your life though. I bet you that. I'm not going to be the person to help you clean the pool. I'm not going to be I'm going to be the person to help you transform your mind. So I suck in a lot of areas and I'm the best in the world in a lot of areas. Pick one. You got to know who you are. Once you know who you are, people can't appraise you how they see fit. You got to know who you are in life. I know who I am. I'm confident in who I am. The only way to get money is to transform your mind into money. You focus on the wrong thing. You can't get money from the outside and you don't have it in your mind. If you don't have information in your mind that produces money, how you gonna get it on the outside? Everything comes from the inside out, not from the outside in. That's why people are struggling today, because you're trying to build your life from the outside in. No, your life gets built from the inside out. Everything gets created twice. It gets created in your mind first. It gets created in the physical reality second. That's where you're struggling. You're trying to create the light outside of you, but you haven't built the one inside of you. Your mindset is poor, but you're trying to be rich externally. Make that make sense. I'm not asking you to change your life right now. I'm just asking you to make it make sense. You got Ferrari dreams with Honda Accord mindset. I'm just being real. See, one thing you got to understand is that money chases value. Value should never have to chase money. That's how you know that you need to transform yourself. Money chases value. Value should never have to chase money. People chase value. Value should never have to chase people. Opportunities chase value. Value never has to chase opportunities. LeBron James doesn't have to call up Sprite and ask them, do they need a new commercial? They blowing up his phone. He doesn't have to call Nike and say, hey, you guys want to put together some new shoes? They blowing up his phone. Beyonce doesn't have to call all of these arenas and saying, hey, you're looking for a singer? They blowing up her phone. When you become value, people chase you. So if you got to ask that question, how do I make money? That means that you haven't become the thing that you need to be in life. You're too busy. You're focused on the external world. You got to start focusing on your internal world first. If you don't build your mind, if you don't build the mansion in your mind, you'll never experience it in your physical reality. If you don't create $1 million mindset, you'll never touch it in your physical reality, ever. No matter how much dreaming you do. And even if you were to walk into some little 7-Eleven or some Circle K, whatever it is you got in your city, and you go and you win the lottery, you're going to lose it all. Why? Because you have what's called a financial thermostat. And your financial thermostat is the most amount of money you have ever touched in the history of your life. Every single person on this live right now as we speak has a financial thermostat. Your financial thermostat is the maximum amount of money you have ever had at one time in your life. Excuse me. And so let's say the maximum amount of money you've had, excuse me, let's say the maximum amount of money you've had is $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. It doesn't matter what it is. Pick your number. That's what your financial thermostat is set at, which means that when you get more money than that, you're going to end up losing that money until that amount of money comes down to what you're used to dealing with. That's what your financial thermostat is set at. Everybody has a financial thermostat. Your job is to know where your financial thermostat is. I increase my financial thermostat by me adding information to myself that's worth a certain amount of money to certain people. So you got to look at it like the information in your mind right now. Who is it worth money to? Your net worth is not what's in your bank account. Your net worth is the value of the information in your mind. That's your true net worth. See, we've been programmed and conditioned to think that our net worth is based on what's happening in the external world. False. Your net worth is predicated on what's the quality of the information in your mind and who is that money, who is that information worth something to. I'll give you a perfect example of that. I can take all of Oprah's material possessions today. I'm talking about everything, all her money in the bank account, all her cars, all her homes. I'm talking about strip her down to nothing. I can promise you 1 year from later, she's gonna have at least half of that back. 1 year from today, she's going to have at least half of it back. Why? Because her true net worth is in her mind. The physical net worth is just a reflection of her mental net worth. Everyone's is. I can take all of LeBron James' money right now. I'm talking about strip him down to nothing. I can promise you 1 year from today, you can go back to his life and he's going to have at least a quarter of that, if not half of that back. Your net worth is here. You've been programmed for this. You focus on what's happening outside of you, and that's why you don't understand it. You have a financial thermostat, and if you don't understand what your financial thermostat is, that's problem number one. Yeah, that's that part right there, Joy. That's the only place you broke in your mind, so you're gonna be broken in reality. You trying to be rich in reality and you broke in your mind. Make that make sense. That shouldn't even make sense to you. How you gonna be rich in reality and have a broke mindset? How you gonna have $1 million in reality, but you got $1,000 mindset? Just make it make sense. Your reality will always match your mentality. Don't ever forget that. Your reality will always match your mentality. I don't have to find out or ask you what your mentality is. I just have to look at your reality. When I look at your reality, it's going to tell me everything I need to know about your mentality. I promise you. I can spend 1 day with you. I'm gonna tell you, I'll understand it, because your reality is a reflection of your mentality. Period. You guys watching the wrong thing. All you got to do is watch that person's reality. Watch how people treat that person. Watch how they speak to that person. Watch how that person treats other people. Look at what's going on in that person's atmosphere. Look at the quality of life. Just pay attention to all of that. It's gonna show you everything you need to see. I don't even need to hear that person tell me anything. I can just watch that person's reality. Once I see your reality, it's going to let me know what your mentality is. I can promise you right now, you can put some duct tape on Jay-Z's mouth where he couldn't say a word to you and just step into his world and you're going to know his world is off the chain. He wouldn't have to tell you it's off the chain. He would never have to tell you that. His reality is going to tell you it's off the chain. You can step into Taylor Swift's reality right now and put some duct tape on her mouth and she can't say a word. And her reality, her lifestyle is going to speak languages to you that you ain't ever been spoken to in your life. See, people's reality is always a reflection of the decisions that they've been making. So when you see all this struggle going on and all these problems going on, it's a reflection of the decisions that they've been making. And that very person go walk up, oh, let me loan me some money, loan me this, and let me get that from you. I'm just looking at your life like you can barely, you ain't been able to take care of what you got here. How you gonna get me taken care of? You ain't been taking care of yourself. I'm just giving you universal truth. That's all. Just universal truth. No big deal. No big deal. Do me a favor real quick, you guys, before we dive in. Do me a favor and yeah, I mean, you didn't fumble yourself. You gonna damn sure fumble me. You got people walking around, they want you to do all this for their life. You've been fumbling yourself. So how the hell you gonna treat me better than you treat you? You've been with you your whole life. It's we just but do me a favor real quick. You guys share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so. Come on, Raven, we gotta let them know. People gonna come into your life and sell you on the fact that they can take you somewhere that they have never been themselves. That's what everybody's selling. Everybody's selling that dream. I can take you somewhere that you've never been yourself. We're going to build empires. We're going to build this. We're going to do that. We're going to change the world. How you going to change the world? You ain't changed yourself. How you going to change the world? You can't change yourself. Stop letting people sell you these pipe dreams so they can leverage you and take advantage of you. How you going to change the world? You can't change you. If that person doesn't have a life that you want, stop listening to people. Those are the people you take advice from. Take advice from the people that have a lifestyle that you want right now. If that person doesn't have a life that you want, why are you listening to that person? I'm asking you that with a straight face. Why would you listen to a person that doesn't have a life that you want? Now, if that person has a life that you want, you need to be listening all day long. We sit here taking advice from people that have never been where we trying to go. And you don't understand that the person is really trying to leverage you in that moment. They can't take you anywhere. You are the meal ticket, and you don't understand that. You probably walking into the situation with far more than they have right now. You the meal ticket, and you don't see it. Oh yeah, we gonna go change the world. We gonna go do this over here. The person that can't even change themselves. You can't elevate out of the situation you in right now. How you gonna take me somewhere? You ain't never been there. This is why when I come on these platforms, man, I only talk about what I know. I only talk about what I've done. I've talked about what I can show you receipts for. If I haven't done it, I'm not going to talk about it, which means I don't do a lot of talking because I haven't done a whole lot. But when it comes to changing people's world, when it comes to building businesses, when it comes to transforming people into the most powerful versions of themselves, when it comes from taking people's lives from level A to level Z, I'm one of the best in the world at that. And I think best. And I'm going to just leave that little space in there. I'm one of the best at that. It's a whole lot I can't do, but it's a whole lot I can. I'm not going to sell you some pipe dream that I can do something for your life that I can't. I transform lives. That's what God created me to do. That's what I focus on. I help people find their purpose. That's what I do. I help people to become unlocked. That's what I do. It's a whole lot I don't do, but I'm a master at what I do. Yeah, you just want to I mean, you just want the people in your life. I mean, that's what this is all about, right? You want the people in your life, that have been where you're trying to go. Those are the best people in the world to take advice from because they really want to see you win. But when you got somebody that's trying to give you advice and they've never been there themselves, then you got to ask yourself, well, what are we really doing here? Now we got the blind leading the blind. You've never been there. I've never been there. So how are we going to get there? Because all the mistakes you getting ready to make is going to cost money. All that fumbling you're going to do is going to cost money. Trust me when I tell you that. It costs a whole lot of money to become this version of myself. Mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after failure, and all these other things like that. This is why I can coach my students and tell them exactly what they need to do to get here. Because I know all of the pitfalls that I ran into. I know all of the mistakes. I know where all of the landmines are. I know where it's all at because I had to go through it. And so I'm giving them the shortcut version on all of the things that they won't have to do to get themselves to where I am right now. That's what it's all about. It's all wormhole effect right there, nephew. All wormhole effect. I'm surprised you remember that, nephew. Actually, I'm not surprised. I'll take that back. That was disrespectful for me to even say that. You don't forget nothing. But that's it. But it's all wormhole effect. Don't study me because you won't graduate. That's what you need to let people know. Don't study me because you won't graduate. Because the average person is going to walk into your life and they're going to want to know all this stuff about you. But you don't know yourself that deeply. Why are you all interested in who I am and you don't know yourself that deeply? Now, don't study me. You won't graduate studying me. And studying me won't transform your life. I don't give a damn how long you study me. That's not what's going to transform your life. Studying yourself is what's going to transform your life. Now, don't read me. Go read that book. Don't spend your time reading me. Read the book. That's what you got to let people know. Everybody want to come in your life and know your past and know your secrets so they can weaponize that against you later on. Stop giving people the blueprint on how to waste your time. That's the biggest mistake we make. Every time there's silence and you sit here with some new person, you feel like you need to fill that silence because we don't know how to sit with the silence. I'm gonna tell you what's happening to you. You've been on some date with some person. Y'all might have been at a coffee shop somewhere, having drinks somewhere, having dinner somewhere, and then you hit that moment of silence, and it's always an awkward moment of silence. And we don't know what to do when we hit that moment. So we feel like we need to say something. And in that moment is when you're getting ready to fumble. Because you're going to start talking about things that you should have never revealed in that moment. Start talking about what your ex did, what happened in the past, how you gave them chance after chance, how they weren't loyal to you, how you bought them everything. And all the thing you're doing is teaching that person how to play you. That's the only thing they listening to. They won't interrupt you at all. That person that person is listening to you. And in that moment, they create the file that they're going to remember all the chances you gave. They're going to know that you don't stand on your standards. They're going to know that you don't stay loyal to they're going to know everything about you in that moment. And you gave them the blueprint. And 6 months later, a year later, all of the things that you shared during that little dinner because you couldn't handle that awkward silence, it's going to come up in that fight. When that person cheats on you, you didn't leave when so-and-so did it, and you didn't do this when so-and-so did that, and you ain't gonna be able to say nothing because they telling the truth. Stop giving people the blueprint on how to waste your time. Whatever it is that happened in your last relationship, it's none of their business. It's nobody's business what happened in your last relationship, whether it was the best relationship in the world or the worst. It's nobody's business. That's private information. This is not a job interview when you got to hand somebody some resume. The only thing that matters is what that person is bringing to your life in that moment. It's the only thing you should be concerned about. What are you bringing to my life in this moment? Damn what happened in all of my previous moments. See, when I don't give you my blueprint, when I don't tell you about everything that happened, and that doesn't mean that you don't talk about your family, and that doesn't mean that you don't talk about your friends and talk about you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about leave all of that relationship history out of it. Because that person is downloading all of that information. You're teaching them how to play you. You're teaching them what you accept and what you tolerate. You're teaching them things that they shouldn't be learning, man. What you doing? Because you don't know how to handle the silence. You don't tell people about your past like that. Now, if you want to talk about your job, talk about it. You want to talk about the kids, talk about it. You want to talk about your goals and dreams, talk about it. But don't talk about that relationship history, because that's going to be the ammunition that person is going to end up firing at you later. That part right there, Rika, that part right there, beloved, man, you got to be private with that, man. That ain't nobody's business. That's nobody's business. Nobody's business. It's none of their business. I can make the argument that's one of the biggest mistakes you make in relationships. Because if I don't know what happened in all of your yesterdays, the only thing that I can do is just bring whatever I was going to bring to the table. But see, this person, man, I'm gonna tell you, sometimes you play yourself like that. Because this person might have been thinking, oh, I want to bring her this 5-star lifestyle. But after you done gave that person a blueprint, they're like, shit, I ain't gonna put all that effort out there. You ain't even worth all of that. All that stuff you be accepting and tolerating and all these things. Just here, this person gonna try to build you the Ritz-Carlton. Now they're giving you a Motel 6 effort because they like, well, look at all the stuff you done been through. You done played yourself out of a whole opportunity. Oversharing and over communicating because you don't know how to handle the silence. No, talk about your dreams when the silence comes. Talk about who you are becoming when the silence comes. Talk about self-awareness when the silence comes. Talk about emotional intelligence and where they're at with it when the silence comes. Don't talk about what happened in all your pain. You got to understand that person is not they're not an employer. Employers want to know about your history. So if that person isn't giving you some job, why are you putting your history on the table about who you were and what you went through with some previous relationship? This person is not your employer. I wish I would break that down. I wish I would. You don't know what I'm willing to accept or tolerate. So guess what you got to do? You got to come with 5-star everything. See, when you don't know what my standards are, when you don't know what I'm willing to accept or tolerate, you got to come with 5-star everything. You ain't got no choice. But if I sit and listen to you talk about how many times somebody cheated on you and how many times they played you and how many times they didn't do this and they didn't do that and they don't show up, well, why would I come and give you this whole 5-star experience when you used to 2-star stuff? And if that don't make sense in your mind, then this ain't the live stream for you. You might want to scroll down the street where they doing TikTok dances. What's up, Kev? And let me tell you what's going to happen. That person is going to ask you. So let me tell you what you do in that situation, because they're going to ask. You know what I'm saying? How long you been single? Yeah, you're going to have that conversation. But what you let that person know is that me and my ex, we split amicably. I don't give a damn if y'all had a knockdown, drag out, World War III type of fight going on. Me and my ex split amicably. We just outgrew each other. That's it right there. No more than that. We just outgrew each other. That's it. We split amicably. That's it. That's all you get. It could have been the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. You won't get that. Italy's in the building. What's up, Italy? Welcome, welcome. Let's come on, Brit Pack. That's all they need to know, family. Why you need to know more than that? What more do you need to know? See, my past won't add value to your life. Think about what I'm saying to you. Me sitting here pouring out my heart does not make you smart. Me sitting here pouring out my heart does not make you more powerful. Me sitting here pouring out my heart does not make you more intelligent. So if it's not going to make you better, stronger, smarter, faster, why am I telling you? One more time. If it's not going to make that person better, stronger, smarter, faster, why are you wasting your time talking to them about it? That has to be your rule right there. Is what I'm getting ready to share with this person going to make them better, stronger, smarter, faster? Because if not, it's just going to be information that they're going to use against you later. That's all it's going to be. All that oversharing didn't do nothing but create a file in their mind that they're going to project back onto you later. You ain't going to have no choice but to freeze in that moment because you're going to forget you told the person all of that. I can't bring up what I don't know about, beloved. Think about what I'm saying. I can't bring up what I don't know. You might have had the worst experience in the world. Come on, big homie, we got to tell him. You might have had the worst experience in the world. I can't bring up what I don't know. This is why I tell people to move in silence. Even when you're building your life and you're building your business, I can't hate on what I don't know. See, we become this society where we want to tell everybody our plans. Now that person gonna have an opportunity to project their opinions on your plans and that ain't gonna work. And I heard things like that ain't no good. And before you know it, now you questioning the thing. Nah, move in silence. Let your success be the loudest thing they hear. That's how you become powerful. Let your success be the loudest thing they hear. When people saw this book, it looked like this already. They didn't even know I was writing the book. There isn't a single person I know besides Coach, and she on this live right now. There isn't a single person that knows me personally that knew I was writing this book. By the time I told them, they was holding it. That's what I told them. Yeah, I'm writing the book. Oh man, you writing the book? Yeah, here you go. What you gonna say? Let your success do the talking for you. Because success is louder than a marching band coming down your street at 3 o'clock in the morning. All you got to do is let your results speak for you. I'm telling you, by the time people found out that I was writing this book, it looked like this already. It was already done. Ain't nothing to hate on. You can't hate on what you don't know about. You can't tear down or destroy what you blind to. I'm telling you, results speak for themselves. And then I'm gonna tell you what's even worse. Even you playing yourself, beloved. When you start telling everybody about your plans and your business, you take all the shock value out of it. If I keep telling you, I'm gonna get me a Mercedes Benz, I'm gonna get me a Mercedes Benz, I'm gonna get me a Mercedes Benz. When I pull up on your house, it ain't gonna be that impressive. But if I don't say anything and I just call you one day and tell you to come outside, you're like, where you at? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm sitting in front of your house. Just come outside. When they walk outside, they're gonna be like, damn. They're gonna be blown away. Why? Because they didn't know the car was coming. But if every day I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get me a Benz, I'm gonna get me a Benz, I'm gonna get me a Benz, I take all the element of surprise out of it. That's like somebody taking you to a surprise party, and they telling you the only way, yeah, you know you getting ready to go to a surprise party. We ain't no surprise no more. That's how it is. When you walk into a surprise party, the whole element of the surprise party is the fact that you didn't know. That's what makes it wonderful. Okay, start moving through your life like that. Everything is a surprise party. Take people to see the results. Don't tell them about it. What's up, Coco? What's up, beloved? I'm telling you, everything is a surprise party with me. I'm throwing surprise parties right now. You just don't know. I got stuff coming right now. You just don't know what it is. But that creates mystique. That creates intrigue. See, mystique is a superpower. I'm telling you now, mystique is a superpower. It's not that you being secretive. It's a superpower. People are drawn to and they are attracted to what they don't know, especially when you are the type of person that lets somebody know, man, I'm working on something powerful. Ooh, what you working on? That's all I'm giving you. In that moment right there, you renting space in their mind for free. I'm telling you, the whole rest of their day, they're going to be trying to figure it out. That's a superpower, and that's self-discipline. You can just let a person know, yeah, I'm working on something powerful. What you working on? You'll find out. That right there, you written space in my mind all day now. But the moment you start telling your plans, you can ruin it. Ain't all the mystique gone. You can ruin everything. You telling the person about the surprise party that the surprise party's for on the way. You ruined everything. I appreciate that, beloved. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Does that make sense? Do me a favor, let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we get the medicine out. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories. Do me a favor, share the live to your stories. Let me say this real quick. Get out that ship. Get out of the ship. If it's not taking you where you need to go, get out of the ship. This mastery, man. When you sit and when you go to that port, right, where they got all the ships parked, right? They're still docked. Now the ship hasn't gone anywhere yet, but every ship in that shipyard is headed somewhere in life. It's getting ready to move in some particular direction. That's what it's designed to do. That's what a ship is designed to do. It's designed to take you from point A to point B. That's what ships do. So when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to your friendships, when it comes to your partnerships, each one of those things should be taking you where you want to go in life, period. And when that relationship or friendship or partnership isn't taking you where you want to go, you need to abandon ship immediately. You don't stay on a ship that's not taking you to your ideal, to that destination that you want for your life. Bottom line. Think about what I'm saying to you. I can promise you, I don't even have to know your name, and I know this about you. I can promise you, if you're on a real ship and you find out this ship isn't going to where you want to go, you're going to get off that ship as quickly as possible. That's what you're going to do. I don't have to know you when I know that. Ain't no way in hell you're going to sit on that ship knowing that ship is, the longer you stay on that ship, is only taking you further and further away from where you want to be. You're going to be trying to, can I speak to the captain, please? Can I speak to whoever's in charge of this ship? I need to get off this boat immediately. But we don't do that when it comes to real life. We don't do that when it comes to real life. We'll stay in that relationship 2 and 3 years past the expiration date. We stay in that friendship, even though we've transcended it. We stay in that partnership, even though we're not happy. But you wouldn't do that on a real ship. Make it make sense to me. You're going to be fighting to get off that real ship, but you're not fighting to get out of that relationship. In the relationship, I can make the argument it's far more detrimental to your mental health than that cargo ship or that cruise ship ever would be. You just being inconvenienced on the real ship, it's just a minor inconvenience. But in that relationship, it's affecting your mindset. It's affecting your self-concept. It's affecting how much you love yourself. It's affecting how much you believe in yourself. The real ship ain't doing all of that to you. Yeah, it's inconveniencing you. And it may have you a little frustrated, but it's a minor setback. But you don't take that same energy. The day you start taking the same energy that you would from that real ship and bringing that into your friendships and your partnerships and your relationships, your life gonna change. You put the wrong energy in the wrong thing. You focus on the wrong thing. You should be relaxed on the real ship, and you should be freaking out in the relationship. See, we play life the wrong way. That's why we lose at life, because you playing it the wrong way. The things you should be freaking out about, you don't. And the things you shouldn't be freaking out about, you do. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. I'm telling you, when that's the problem right there. That's the problem that 9 out of 10 people have. I'm gonna give you another example of that. You'll walk into a 5-star restaurant. When you walk into that 5-star restaurant and you go to sit down, if that waiter takes too long to come and serve you, you're gonna feel some type of way. And if that waiter brings you something that you didn't order, let's say you ordered the fish, but they brought you steak, you're not gonna tolerate that. And you're gonna give that waiter an opportunity to take it back and get the order right. And let's just say that again, you ordered the fish. So the waiter comes back with steak again. Now you're scratching your head like, is they playing with me? Man, I just told you I ordered the fish. Why do you keep bringing me steak? In that moment, let me tell you what you're going to do. You're going to ask to speak to the manager. And if the manager doesn't satisfy your needs, you're going to get the hell out that restaurant. That's what I know. All of that's going to happen within the course of an hour or hour and a half at best. Why don't you move like that in your relationships? Why is it that you will allow your partner to come and bring you what you don't want time and time again? Not show up for you like the way that you need them to time and time again. Not love you the way you want to be loved time and time again. You'll give them 1,000 chances, but you won't do that for that waiter. You might give that waiter 1 or 2 tries and you're ready to be done with that whole relationship. That's a relationship too. The relationship you have with that waiter is a relationship as well. So you'll do that. You'll sit there. You're going to call the waiter out. You don't give a damn if they get fired. You don't care what's going on. You want to speak to the manager. But why you don't bring that same energy when it comes to your relationships? Why don't you bring that zero tolerance mentality when it comes to your relationships outside of that restaurant? The day you start bringing that restaurant energy to your real relationships, your whole life gonna change. One more time. The things you should be freaking out about, you don't. And the things you shouldn't be freaking out about, you do. The day you reverse that, your whole life gonna change. The one you should have been giving the breaks to is the waiter, because maybe he going through something mentally. Maybe he lost his mom. Maybe a family member somehow, some way, something tragic happened to him. Maybe he's just not in his right state of mind at that time. I can give him grace. I can't do it to the person that's waking up next to me day in and day out, lying, cheating, verbally abusive, disrespectful, and we give them 1,000 chances. You might give that waiter 2 or 3 tries, and you ready to go tell the boss. Too much truth? I'm just asking. If there's too much truth, let me know. I'll turn it down some. If there's too much truth, let me know. I'll turn it down some. Sometimes I know certain people, you may not have taken your medication. I know certain people be allergic to the truth. So I don't want you to break out. Certain people just don't, I'm just saying, the things in life that we shouldn't be as, we freak out about the things that we shouldn't, and the things that we should be freaking out about, we give that all the grace in the world. And to me, that doesn't make sense, because you'll never become the most powerful version of yourself that way. Ever. You'll never become the most powerful version of yourself. Never. When you bring that restaurant energy to your relationships, it's game over. When you bring that ship energy to your relationships, that zero tolerance mindset, it's over. See, you got to understand, when you start dealing with people, people only see you how they need you. That's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation. People see you how they need you. And once their need for you has gone, they start treating you differently. Look at your past relationships. Everything started out with this person doing all these things for you. Why? Because they were something that they needed from you. They were still benefiting from you. There was some value that you would bring into the situation. The moment that that person got what they needed, the moment that they extracted that value, things started to change. And it didn't change all at one time. They were little micro changes. And those a micro cut will hurt you more than a big cut, because that micro cut, like when you get a paper cut on your finger, it just bothers you. So you get all these little micro cuts, right? Of this person doing this, and they stop doing that, and they stop doing this, and they stop doing that, and they stop doing this. And before you know it, man, you just bleeding out. People see you how they need you. You got to wake up out of your illusion. That's why self-awareness is so important, because once you become the self-aware version of yourself, you stop attracting all of these negative people into your life, these bad relationships, because you're just operating on a different frequency. That's what it's all about. You needed to get hurt. You needed to go through everything that you went through leading up to this moment so it can get you here, so that you can become self-aware, so that you can prepare yourself for your next best relationship. That's what this was all about. You had to get disillusioned with all relationships so that you can be able to appreciate the next relationship that's coming. That's what this is about. Life becomes beautiful when you understand how it works. Then you stop punishing people and you stop punishing yourself, because you understand that everything that happened to you needed to happen to you to get you to this moment. But now it's time to transcend this moment and transcend this mindset that got you to this moment, because what got you here won't get you there. Yesterday's information will not solve today's problems. Stop using yesterday's information trying to figure out today's problems. Yesterday needs you to become a better version of yourself than you were. Today needs you to become a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. And tomorrow's going to require the same thing. That's why growth is the most important thing in your life. It should be the number one priority in your life, is growth. If you woke up being the same person you were yesterday, you haven't grown. If you haven't acquired new information as of yet, you haven't grown. What value are you bringing to today? Because today is building your tomorrow. And today doesn't use yesterday's information to build your tomorrow. I can promise you that. Today is like, you need to bring me something new. That's like you trying to pay somebody back with the money they gave you. No, that don't work like that. The bank is like, there's interest on that. You can't just give us back exactly what we gave you. No, there's interest on that. That's how today works. Today is like, there's interest on that. You can't use yesterday's information to build today. There's interest on that. That part right there, Queen. That part right there, Lynetta. Come on, Joya. You said something right there. That's a whole live right there. You can have more, but you got to be willing to become more. How you gonna have more if you ain't willing to become more? That's the problem. We want more, but we don't want to become the thing. We don't want to transform ourselves. See, let me say it this way. You don't need to read another book. You don't need to go to another seminar. You don't need to talk to another life coach. You need to become the type of person, right, that transforms yourself into match those standards that already meets who you are ultimately trying to become. That's what's important. We sit here and read the book, but we don't become the book. Maintain your value, but never explain the cost. Let that sink in. Maintain your value, but don't ever explain the cost. I wonder who knows what that means. I appreciate that, Rico. I wonder who knows what that means. That means something so deep Maintain your value, but don't ever explain the cost. That's where you lose. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Watch this, Ann. Watch this, Ann. Let me tell you why. Because there's a big difference between price and cost. There is a major difference between price and cost. And if you don't know the difference between the two, it will put people in a position to take advantage of you and to manipulate you all at the same time. Price is what you pay one time. Cost is what happens throughout the duration of the time that you have access to that particular thing. A major difference. When a person meets you for the very first time, they will always be willing to pay the price. Price is only what you pay one time. So that person may take you to some dinner or take you on some trip or take you to Paris or take you wherever it is they take you. That's price. Cost is what you incur throughout the duration of the relationship. And that's where people drop off. Because cost means high-level communication. Cost means intimacy. Cost means loyalty. Cost means consistency. Cost means empathy. Cost means you showing up regularly. See, all of that is what's going to make the relationship last. The person came in only wanting to pay the price. Price happens one time. But cost is what you need to bring throughout the duration of the relationship. And that's why relationships fall apart. I'm going to give you a good example. I'm going to give you the best example in the world of that. Think about a baby. When you are intimate with your partner and you guys have that baby for the very first time, that's price. That person came in willing to pay the price. But that baby doesn't represent price. The baby represents cost. Why? Because that baby is going to need things throughout the duration of his or her life. And people don't think that way. We're looking at price. The fact that we sat down or laid down and had that child together. Okay, that's wonderful. But price is out the window now. Cost is what that baby is going to need. You showing up every day, you loving the baby, you supporting the baby, you making sure that the baby has everything that they need. That's what I'm saying. Or you look at a Mercedes-Benz. When you go and you purchase a Mercedes-Benz, the price might be $100,000 for that car. Okay, wonderful. That was the price one time. But cost is what you are going to incur throughout the duration of the time that you have access to that car. What does that mean? Oil changes, new tires, windshield wipers, tune-ups, transmissions, all of these things, new brakes and all of these other things like that. So when you buy that Mercedes-Benz, you might be saying, well, I spent $100,000. I don't want to spend no more money on the car. Okay, well, that car is going to be stuck. And the reason why that car is going to be stuck because there's going to be cost that comes after you spend that original $100,000. That's how relationships work. People come in and they only want to pay the price to get to you, but they don't want to deal with the cost. Showing up for you every day, loving you consistently, believing in you, the high-level communication, loyalty, commitment, that's cost. Damn price. We understand how they got to you, but cost is how they're going to keep you. Cost is what's going to make the relationship healthy, and that's the part that people don't pay attention to. Everybody's willing to pay the price, but very few people are willing to pay the cost. Relationships fall apart because people don't want to pay the cost. Single mothers are out there because fathers don't want to pay the cost. Single fathers are out there because that mother didn't want to pay the cost. Cost is what's important, not price. Anybody can pay the price. Can you pay the cost? Because cost is what's going to be incurred throughout the duration of the relationship that you have with this person, place, or thing. Self-awareness requires cost, not price. Self-mastery requires cost, not price. Anybody can read a book one time. You ain't doing nothing special. Cost is, can you read that book every single day until you become it? Can you watch those live streams every single day until you become the live stream? Can you listen to that podcast every single day until you become the podcast? That's cost. Anybody can pay price. Can you pay the cost? That's what God is paying attention to. He don't give a damn about price. He's focused on cost. Because cost determines how bad you want something. We all want to get into a relationship until it's time to pay the cost. Then we start to fall short, relationships start falling apart. Look at over your past relationships. I can guarantee you, if you look at them through this filter right now, you're going to say, Coach, you right. Somebody wasn't willing to pay the cost. They came in and paid the price. I'm not taking that away from you. They paid the price, but they weren't willing to pay the cost. That's why it fell apart. Just look back over your past and you'll see it. Cost is a bad boy. Everybody's going to pay the entry fee to get to you. That's easy. The entry fee is easy. We all will pay the entry fee. It's that cost that I'm worried about. Cost is what makes you special, not price. When you start looking at people through a cost filter and not a price filter, see, that's what we get caught up at. Oh, he makes 6 figures, or he has this, he dropped, that's all price. None of that determines cost. That was the flash that I used to get your attention. None of that determines how I'm going to treat you. Now that I have your attention, how do I treat you? That's where cost comes in. I got your attention. Okay, wonderful. But how do I treat you after I've gotten your attention? That's all cost. And you can't see that part of that person. You don't know who they are when it comes to that. Relationships fall apart because people aren't willing to pay the cost. They paid the price, but they weren't willing to pay the cost. That's how our country is ran, whether you realize it or not. That's how this entire country is ran. Certain things you go in and you pay the price and you gain access to that particular thing. And then certain things you go in and you pay the price, but it's going to have a cost after that. You can go into the supermarket and go buy a bag of chips. There's no cost after that. No cost after that. No cost. But then you can go down the street to the department store or to the appliance store and you can buy a washer and dryer and you're going to pay a price, but it's going to be a cost after that. You can go to the used car lot right now. You can go buy that car one time. There's a price on that, but there's going to be a cost after that because that car is going to need things far beyond that price that you paid. And when you start to understand that, before you start adding all these people to your life, yeah, they came in to pay the price, but will they pay the cost? Because cost is the thing that's going to make the relationship last. It's what's going to make the relationship powerful. People don't want to pay the cost. Now you got a whole baby with this person and you raising the baby by yourself because the baby represents cost, not price. That part right there, nephew. Come on, big homie. Big homie nailed it. Will they keep the maintenance up? That's what's important. That's what's going to keep that car on the road. Will they keep the maintenance up? That's what's going to keep that relationship on the road. Will they keep the maintenance up? That's what's going to keep that friendship on the road. Will they keep the maintenance up? Yeah, we understand the price. But this relationship is going to require maintenance. This friendship is going to require maintenance. This marriage is going to require maintenance. That's why they falling apart. People don't want to pay the maintenance. You sit there and spend $1 million on your wedding. They don't want to spend $20 on the maintenance. You just spent the money in the wrong direction. I know people sit there and spend $100,000, $200,000 on the wedding and to be divorced 6 months later. Divorce a year later, 2 years later. I coach these people all the time. I'm telling you. See, here's what you got to understand that I know you probably not looking at. Charlie, what's up? What's up, beloved? So good to see you, Charlie. Let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories if you haven't already done so, please. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories real quick before we haven't already done so we can get busy getting busy. That part right there. Again, do me a favor real quick, share the live to your stories so we can get the medicine out. Let's get the likes up, you guys, so that we can get the medicine out. Let's hit 500K real quick. Sharonica, I appreciate that. What's up, Chris? So good to see you. So good to see you, family. Here's what you don't understand. And it's a filter that you have to start looking at yourself through, a serious one that very few people can look at them, can see themselves through. It costs a lot to be who you are. Period. It costs a lot to be who you are right now. I don't give a damn if you're rich or not. It got nothing to do with rich. Come on, turning heads, we got to let them know, beloved. It costs a lot to be who you are right now. We know who you're trying to become, but we ain't there yet. So we need to focus on who you are right now. It costs a lot, beloved, to be who you are right now. Think about what I'm saying to you. All that pain that you've gone through, all the heartache that you've gone through, all of the betrayal that you've gone through, all of the disrespect that you've gone through, all of the childhood wounds that you may still be trying to heal from, and all those other things that you've gone through. Money don't compare to that. Don't give a damn how much money somebody's trying to throw at you. Man, you didn't been through a lot. Some of you guys have been to jail. Some of you didn't been to prison. Some of you didn't been in the hospital. Some of you guys have been sick. Some of you guys have had to battle some things. Some of you guys have had to, oh man, come on, you got to look at yourself through the right filter. It costs a lot to be who you are in this moment. And you got to carry yourself with that mindset and with that energy. You can't just let anybody have access to you. It costs a lot to be you. And it doesn't matter what your current circumstances may reflect right now. It has nothing to do with that. Your current circumstances are only a reflection of who you were, not who you are. And they don't reflect where you're going. It's just a moment in time. You don't measure yourself by what's happening in the moment. You measure yourself by the mindset that you bring to the moment. That's what you measure yourself on, because that's what's going to determine where you're going. We know where you've been. Where you're going is what's important right now. This is just a moment in time, whatever it is that's happening right now. So we ain't worried about that. What we are worried about is you understanding, man, it costs a lot to be me. I can't fumble me. All of what you had to go through to get to this moment, all of the mountains you had to overcome and the obstacles that you have to overcome and the setbacks and the betrayal and the failed relationship, the failed marriages. Come on, man, it costs a lot to be you. And some of you guys are still paying for that. So how do we disrespect that? How do you not look at yourself through 5-star eyes? How do you not place the highest amount of value on yourself? How do you not place the highest amount of love on yourself when you went through that by yourself? Your family didn't go through that with you. Your friends didn't go through that. You might have called them people and told them, but you carried the emotion of it. You carried the pain of it. You carried the suffering of it. You carried the misery. You carried all the dark nights. When what nobody else there clapping for you and cheering for you, man, you got to show up for you. You carried everything. You got to show up for you. Yeah. That's why I go as hard as I go, because I know how hard it was for me to be this version of myself. Man, this shit wasn't easy. Wasn't nothing easy about it. Easy was nowhere in my vocabulary. So you got to go hard in the dark so that you can shine in the light. Because if you're not great in the dark, you'll never be great in the light. Your dark has to be phenomenal for your light to be phenomenal. And that's what I need you guys to understand. If you're not great in the dark, how can you ever be great in the light? Your dark is reflected in the light. You got to go harder when nobody's clapping for you. You got to go hard when nobody's motivating you. You got to go hard when nobody's inspiring you. You got to go hard when there's nobody filming you and watching you. Who you are when there's no one else around determines who you're going to ultimately become. I'm amazing in the dark. I wish y'all could see my dark. This ain't nothing right here. I'm able to be this version of me because of who I am in the dark. This is just a reflection of my dark. When this camera goes off, I go straight lion mode with me. I ain't got time to be getting down on myself. I ain't got time to be saying, oh, you not enough. I ain't got time to be not loving myself. I don't have time to be doubting myself. I don't have time to place limitation, but I ain't got time. I'm trying to change the world. I've already changed myself. I've already changed me. I wish I would show up to the mirror and disrespect all of what I've been through because of what's happening in my current situation. If somebody that walked out of my life, I wish I would. Disrespect this masterpiece that God has put together. I understand it now. Now, I may not have understood it when I started out the journey. I'll give you that. I didn't understand it in the beginning, but I understand it now. I understand it fluently now. So much so I teach it. So much so I teach it. Who you are when no one else is around determines how much you truly love yourself, determines who you are ultimately going to become. The love you tolerate is the love you believe you deserve. Real talk. I'm telling you. What's up, Ellie? So good to see you, beloved. You said, is it wrong to be nonchalant or passive? No, expound on that for me, beloved. Expound on that. I want to make sure. I want to make sure. Because that word passive is one. I don't ever want you to be assertive. Hell yeah, but not passive. I want you to be assertive. So, oh, you said you're battling brain cancer? Got you, Ellie. Got you. Again, do me a favor real quick, you guys. Let's get the lights so we can get the medicine out. Again, you know, who you are when nobody is watching determines, and nobody knows that but you, right? You're the only person that knows, you know, you're the only person that knows that about yourself. But who you are when no one else is watching determines how you really rock with yourself, man. For real. For real, for real, for real. For real. Sometimes, man, the only time we show up for ourselves is when people are watching and people are clapping and people are filming and we're going to be posting something and we show up for ourselves then. Nah, man, it's who you are. It's who you become when nobody's around. That tells me everything about who you are. If you're not phenomenal in the dark, you're never going to be phenomenal in the light. If you're not great in the dark, if you don't go beast mode in the dark, how are you going to become beast mode in the light? That don't even go together. It just doesn't match. Danelle, what's up, beloved? So good to see you. Happy Friday. Love you too, Ellie. Does that make sense, you guys? So one more time, it took a lot for you to become the person that you are right now. Man, you got to show up for you. And who else gonna do it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If you're not gonna do it, who gonna do it? Who gonna go harder for you than you gonna go harder for yourself? Who's gonna do it? If you don't feel you worthy of it, how could a person outside of you feel that you are worthy of it? Elaine, I appreciate that, beloved. That's all I'm saying. And like I said, the love the love you accept will always reflect the love you believe you deserve. And that's one of the realest things I could ever say to you. That's one of the realest things I could ever say to you. I appreciate the gifts, you guys. The love you accept will always reflect the love you believe you deserve. That's what's important. That's what's important. It doesn't matter what I believe you deserve. It only matters what you accept, because what you accept determines what you believe you deserve. So that disrespect you accept reflects what you believe you deserve. That person showing up small reflects what you believe you deserve. You waking up to a life that you don't love every single day, and you ain't going crazy trying to change that, reflects what you believe you deserve. Anytime, I appreciate that, family. So everything is reflecting what you believe you deserve. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what the man on the other side of town from your house is saying. It only matters what you believe you deserve. The life you receive is the one you believe you deserve. Doesn't matter what you want. Doesn't matter what's on your vision board. You got to become the vision board. I don't use vision boards. I am the vision board. I don't have a single vision board in my house. I am the vision board. I became the vision board. You got to become it. But see, that's what I understand. I understand that whatever you want to be in life, you have to become. Because if you got space, where am I at here? If you got space between you and the thing you want, you ain't gonna ever have the thing, because you think that nothing is disconnected to you. Everything is only disconnected to you through thought alone. So in your mind, that's what manifestation is. It's really about closing the gap between the thing you want and you thinking that the thing you want is disconnected to you somehow, some way. I'm telling you, that's what it is. I appreciate that, beloved. I'm gonna give you a perfect example of what I mean. Let's just say you work a 9 to 5, and your goal is to become the office manager, right? You want to become the office manager. Okay, well, start acting like the office manager right now. That's what I'm going to do. Me understanding manifestation. I'm going to start acting like the office manager today, even though I'm not the office manager. I'm going to show up like the office manager. I'm going to mirror that office manager. I'm going to show up like them. I'm going to be a team player. I'm going to show up early to work. I'm going to stay late. I'm going to be the boss's right-hand man. I'm going to be the office manager's right-hand man. I'm going to be all of those things. And my goal is this. I'm going to tell that office manager, I want to see you become the assistant vice president or whatever the case may be. I want to get you bumped up. And guess what's going to happen? The first time that office manager slot comes, who you think they're going to give it to? See, let me tell you the mistake we make. We'll start acting like the office manager the day that we get promoted to it. You look like everybody else. You ain't doing nothing special. You look like everybody else. If you're not willing to do more than what you are paid for, you will never get paid more than what you do. You got to understand that. That's manifestation. So I'm going to start acting like the office manager right now. I'm going to do what an office manager does today, and I will become the office manager. And the moment that they say, oh, we got a new spot opening up for the new office manager, I'm going to be the first person in their mind, right? Because I'm already doing office manager duties, while everybody else is only waiting to get picked to become an office manager, to start acting like the office manager. My point is simple. Whatever you want to be in life, be that thing now, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Don't wait until you become the thing to start acting like the thing, because you'll never get the thing. I became this version of myself before I ever became this version of myself globally. I started moving like this person, talking like this person, walking like this person, studying like this person. I became the person. So some of you guys, you got too much space between what you want and what you are right now. Too much space. I appreciate that, beloved. Too much space. So you're never going to become the thing because you think that the thing is separate from you. Nothing is separate from you. You consciousness. Nothing is disconnected from you. It's only disconnected from you in your mind. But you will never attract what you are not the vibrational frequency of. So if you're not operating on the same frequency as that thing, you'll never get the thing. Not because you're not worthy or you're not deserving, but because you're operating from a different frequency. Let's get the likes of you guys so that we can get the medicine out. Do me a favor and share the live to your stories real quick. You can choose to heal, but you don't need to be fixed. You got to get that in your mindset. You can choose to heal, but you don't need to be fixed. There's not a single person on this live right now that needs to be fixed. Fixed from what specifically? That's a story that you're telling yourself. In life, let me say it this way. Don't spend all of your life trying to correct the parts of you that some unhealed person told you that are broken. That's what you're doing. I said, don't spend the rest of your life trying to fix the parts of you that some unhealed person told you were broken. What's broken? Who specifically is broken in you? Who are we talking about? Stop believing the narrative that you're broken. It's a story that you're telling yourself. There's nothing broken in you. You are spirit. Spirit is not broken. You are consciousness. Consciousness is not broken. The one that you say is broken is your me. What's my me? Your me is a collection of your wounds. Your me is the story that you tell yourself. Your me is your ego. Your me is your persona. Your me is your reputation. Your me is your programming and conditioning. And the combination or the culmination of all of that is what you call me. When you say they lied to me, that's what you're talking about. When you say they hurt me, that's what you're talking about. When you say they betrayed me or they disrespected me or they cheated on me, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about something that's in thought format only. You are talking about something that cannot exist outside of your body. In other words, your me can't go to the store for you right now. Your me can't go get you coffee. Your me can't turn on the kitchen light. Your me can't do anything because your me doesn't exist. It's trapped in a memory trace that you continue to project onto this moment, which creates all of your suffering. That's what awareness is about. Self-awareness is about you dissolving your me. Because your me is keeping you disconnected from your divinity. That's the only thing in you that's broken. It's the fact that there is a version of you that lives in your mind, that speaks in your voice, that is constantly reminding you of everything that's gone wrong in your yesterdays, that's always projecting something onto your tomorrow, which creates your anxiety and your worry and your stress. Or it's projecting something. See, your me can't exist in this moment. Did you know that? Did you know that? Your me is incapable of existing in the present moment. Incapable. Nothing can be in the present moment but God. Nothing. You can project your me onto the present moment, but it is not in the present moment. It's all happening in your mind. It's not happening outside of your body. It's like my glasses right now. Let me give you an example of what I'm saying so you don't miss it. My glasses right now are not a part of reality. My glasses give me the ability to see reality, but they are not reality themselves. And that's what you're doing. Your me is like you putting on a pair of glasses. It's the filter that you're seeing the world through. So you're seeing the world through your pain. You're seeing the world through your story. You're seeing the world through your wounds. You're seeing the world through your trigger and your persona and your level of education. But all of those things live in your mind, nowhere else. And then somebody told you a story that you are broken or that you need to be fixed, and you put on the broken glasses and you've been seeing yourself through those glasses the entire time. But it's only an illusion of your thinking. That's why self-awareness is so important to your life. Let me go back to my other point, because this is important. Hell no, there's nothing wrong with you. This is important. Nothing can exist in this moment but love. Nothing. Everything else is a projection. Let me say that one more time. God owns this moment. And you ain't gonna bring your fear in this moment. You're not gonna bring your anxiety in this moment. You're not gonna bring all of that's happening in your mind. Nothing is happening outside of your body. It's all happening in your mind. The only thing that can breathe in this moment is love, period. That's the only thing that can occupy this moment. Your fear is a projection of your imagination. It's happening in your mind. Your anxiety is a projection of your imagination. It's happening in your mind. Your past is a former memory trace of a now. It's happening in your mind. All of it is happening in your mind. Nothing is in this moment. This moment is not contaminated. You're projecting onto this moment. You're using your glasses that you're seeing the moment through, but nothing is actually in the moment. Meaning, if I'm standing next to you, I don't experience fear because you're experiencing it. I don't experience anxiety because you're experiencing anxiety. I don't feel what you feel. Why? Because it's not in the moment. It's only happening in your mind. What's self-awareness trying to do? Heal you from that, so that you stop telling yourself this story that's not true. How can you heal from the past and the past doesn't even exist? That's story number one. That's illusion number one that you got to get rid of. How can we heal a past and the past doesn't exist? Your anxiety is coming because the future is not real, beloved. You understand that? All that fear, you experience fear in the moment, which means you punish yourself in this moment, but your fear is a projection of something that you think might happen in some future moment. But you experience the pain of it in this moment. You punishing yourself, punishing the hell out yourself. Your anxiety doesn't live in this moment, it lives in your body. Your fear doesn't live in this moment, it lives in your body. Your pain from all of your yesterdays doesn't live in this moment, it lives in your body. All of your feelings and emotions are inbound only. Nothing is happening outside of you. And all of it is coming because you haven't mastered your mind, which means that your mind has mastered you, period. Bottom line. And if you think it makes more sense for you to master your relationships, for you to master your job, for you to master the car, for you to master how the things outside of you works, and you haven't mastered how you work, and you take you everywhere with you, you think in your mind that that makes more sense to you? To suffer unnecessarily, to have all this depression in your life, to have this anxiety in your life, to have your mood swings going like this, to have to get on medication to regulate your mindset. If you think that makes more sense to you than the people you chasing and the titles you chasing and all of these external things, you think that it makes more sense for you to master your external world than it does for you to master your internal world, then you do need to go talk to that therapist. You need to have a full-blown conversation with him or her. If you have tricked yourself into believing that. I'm talking about you need to lay on the couch. Don't sit on it. Lay across it. Just stretch out across the whole couch. And don't get up until they convince you that the way you use it in your mind is incorrect. I'm telling you. Nothing is more important than you mastering your mindset. Nothing, not any relationship, because you're going to be there. Your mind is going to be there. Your mind is what's going to be in control of the relationship. You're not going to be in control of it. And if you're not in control of your mind, how are you going to control what's happening in the relationship? All of your wounds are going to get projected onto that relationship, just like they do reality. All of your fears are going to get projected onto that relationship, just like they do reality. All of your insecurities are going to get projected onto that relationship. Your pain you're going to be bleeding on people that never cut you. Because somebody has convinced us that it makes more sense for us to master the external world than us to master ourselves, and you the one that's creating your external world. Just make that make sense. Make that part make sense for me, if nothing else. Everything outside of you is only there because of you. It's there because of you. It's there because of God. That's it. Everything in your external world is there because of you. You either created it, you manifested it, you attracted it, somehow, some way, it's there because of you. In other words, if I take you out, your whole world is gone. So how does it make more sense for me to know about the things that the asset that is me has created than for me to know about the asset itself? Just make that make sense for me, please. I'm not asking you to change your life right now. I'm just asking you to make that make sense. Just make that make sense. If you can't do nothing else for me, just sell me on that one. How it makes more sense for you to know how the things you've created or attracted works than for you to know how the one that created the things work. Nah, you good. You good, Shay. You good. It's not your fault. Definitely not your fault. Nah, you good. I promise you good. I promise you good. Do me a favor real quick, you guys. Let's share the live to your stories if you I love you too, beloved. I love you too, Shauna. Do me a favor real quick. Share the live to your stories real quick. One more time. Nothing can exist in this moment. You got to understand that. If you don't understand anything else, you got to all this belongs to God. The moment belongs to God. All of your emotions, all that fear, all of your anxiety, all your insecurities, your doubts, your limitations, your depression, all inbound. None of that is actually in the moment. Nothing can be in this moment. The only thing that can be in this moment is love. That's it. That's all. There's love and then there's the absence of it. That's it. You got two things in this world. You got love and then you got love's absence. That's it. All of that violence, all of the suffering, all of the pain comes from an absence of love. Everything is a gift to you. I'm telling you, celebrate your dark more than you celebrate your light, man, because your dark is more powerful than your light. Your dark is more valuable to you than your light ever could be. And the day I fully understood that, it was game over. My dark is infinitely more powerful, more meaningful than my light ever could be. Yeah, I appreciate the light, but I give the light just a little bit of energy. It's my dark that makes me who I am. I wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for my dark. Let me say it that way. The light is not what created this version of me. It's my dark. It's those failed relationships. It's that divorce. It's all that heartbreak. It's all that pain. It's all that suffering. It's everything that you think is wrong with your life. It's what makes you badass in this moment. Because you're the only human being in history that has experienced what you've experienced. No other human being in history has ever experienced that, which has created your programming and conditioning, which is what gives you unique vision. Nobody sees the world like you. There's not a single person walking that sees the world like you. That's your superpower. Nobody sees the world like you. Nobody thinks like you. Let's start with that truth, and then we can go any direction you want from there. Nobody on this planet thinks like you. Nobody has your heart. Nobody has your mindset. Nobody has any of that. Man, you got to be careful who you give access to you. See, that's the problem. You too desensitized to your greatness. That's the real problem. Either A, you haven't discovered yourself, or B, you too desensitized to your greatness. Both are a problem. I said both are a problem. I don't give a damn about how many Mercedes Benzes you drive, how many Rolls Royce trucks you jump out of. None of that matters if you don't know who you are, beloved. You just a sleeping person with a Rolls Royce. You just a sleeping person with a mansion. You just a sleeping person with a Birkin bag. That's all that means. When you're talking to self-aware people, they don't care about any of that. They're like, who are you? Because if you don't know who you are, you're a liability to me and yourself. The most important thing you bring to the moment is your authenticity. Nothing, not your Chanel bag. The most important thing you bring to the moment is your authenticity, not your Mercedes Benz. The most important thing you bring to the moment is your authenticity, not your PhD or your MBA. The most important ingredient that you bring to this moment is you, because that's the version of you that God created. Can the world get that version of you? I'm just asking. I'm not asking for too much, I hope. Can the world get that version of you? Or are you so worried about the opinions of other people that you're too terrified to bring the truth to the moment? Because you are the truth. You're not something that needs to believe in yourself. You're someone that needs to know yourself. When you know yourself, belief is no longer required. I don't need you to believe in you. I need you to know you. You can believe in me. You can believe in your kids. You can believe in the man around the corner from your house. All of those things are true. But when you start studying self-awareness, what you're going to understand is that you don't need to believe in yourself. You have to know yourself. Spirit has to be known. It can't be believed in, because if you believe in it, that means that there's still disconnect there. I don't need you to have faith in yourself. I need you to know yourself, because when you know yourself, faith is no longer required. Belief is no longer required. You don't have to trust yourself because you already know what you're going to do. I don't need to trust myself. I need to know myself. I don't have to trust God. I know him. I don't have to believe in him. I know him. I don't have to have faith in him. I know him. I've been on the phone with him all morning. Belief is no longer required, which means I walk through life with maximum confidence. I walk through life with maximum certainty. I understand that nothing can hurt me. I don't give a damn what's going on. I'm source energy. You can't touch source energy. See that right there, that right there. See, in your mind, your ego might have tricked you into asking yourself this question. Why would God allow them people to hurt Jesus like that? Why would he allow that? Why didn't he stop that? For it's important as a figure as Jesus was, because they didn't touch him. That's why you got to wake up. Get out that Bible you read, because it's going to keep you asleep. They couldn't hurt him. He's conscious. This is what he was trying to tell you. They ain't worried about them people talking about over there. You can't touch me. I'm source energy. I'm consciousness. Yeah, you can do something to my host body. I'll give you that. But they couldn't hurt him. They couldn't do nothing to him. He understood that. You don't understand it because you're looking at it through your programming and conditioning. But you can't hurt him the same way that no one can hurt you. That's what he was trying to wake everybody up to. Can't nobody hurt you. You ain't never been hurt a day in your life. Your me has been hurt. The character that you play has been hurt. This host body, maybe somebody may have touched that inappropriately, but can't nobody hurt you. When you start understanding that, you move through the life differently. Nobody can touch Jesus. They ain't touched the man. Because you can't hurt source energy. It's all QLA. Quarks, leptons, atoms. When you understand that that's what you are. You don't just live in the universe. The whole universe is living in you. Man, you got to understand that. You got to understand more than what's going on Netflix. I'm sorry. You got to understand more than what's going on Amazon Prime or who getting ready to go to the Super Bowl. Damn all that if you don't know who you are. I'm just being real. You gotta wake up, man. You gotta be interested in more than that. This is your life we talking about. And most of us can't appreciate our life because we don't understand what we are. How can I place value on what I am if I don't know what I am? If I don't really know what I'm capable of, if I haven't really discovered myself, can't nobody use pure spirit and use pure source energy. Science gonna tell you that. It's so crazy. Nobody's ever even seen you before. We can't see the real you. Our eyes don't have the ability to see the real you. Your source energy, everything appears as being something solid, appears as being something physical, but it's not, beloved. I mean, I wish this was a play on words that I'm giving you, but it's not. Nothing is as it appears. Our reality is a simulation. What does simulation mean? Does simulation mean it's fake, coach? No, that's not what that means. What simulation means is nothing is as it appears to be. Your eyes don't have the ability to see. My eyes lack the ability to see you as you really are. I can only see you as I imagine you are, but I can't see the real you. No one can. No one ever has. In the same way I can't see the real you, the scientists will tell you that. Please Google what I'm telling you. No one has ever seen the real you. You appear to be something solid, but your source energy moving at such a high rate of speed, our eyes just can't comprehend what it's seeing. I'm just giving you universal truth. I can't see the real you. Nobody can see the real you. I can't hug the real you. I can't do anything. You are contained inside of this host body, but you are not the host body. Thoughts appear in consciousness, but you are not your consciousness. You are not the thing that you can observe. Anything that you can observe, you are not. Yeah, it's subject object. I wrote a whole piece of it in our community. Subject object. I need to do a live on subject object. Subject objects. Subject object is a beast. Once you learn subject object, but yeah, Kia, I got you. I got you, beloved. I got you. 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 Promise, I got you. I got you. Absolutely, love. I got you. Yeah. I got you. Yee. So one more time, let me, like I said again, it is. I see you, Cash. I see you, beloved. I'm just telling you, there's nothing wrong with you, other than the story. That's it. Just a story. So one more time, you can choose to heal yourself, but you don't need to fix yourself. Don't spend all of your life trying to correct the parts of you that some unhealed person told you were broken. Stop believing the narrative that you're broken. To heal yourself, you have to let go of the story that you're broken. That's step one. To heal yourself, you have to let go of the story that you're broken, because the only thing that's keeping you broken is the story, nothing else. Nothing is, think about what I'm saying to you, beloved. Nothing is connected to you right now. Listen to what I'm saying to you. There's nothing connected to you right now. Your pain is not connected to you right now. It's only connected to you through thought. Your kids are not connected to you right now. They're only connected to you through thought. Your job is not connected to you right now. It's only connected to you through thought. Everything that's hurting you is only connected to you through thought, not physical reality, just thought. Your anxiety is only connected to you through thought. There's nothing connected to you right now. So what is self-awareness trying to do? It's trying to get you to transcend mind. Why? Because mind is what's creating all of the problems. Mind is soul. What is soul? Mind, will, emotions. With your mind, you think. With your will, you choose. And with your emotions, you act. That's what your soul is. Mind, will, emotions. You have to transcend that. Why do I need to transcend that, coach? Because soul was never supposed to be holding the steering wheel to who you are. Spirit is. Spirit is what gets soul in alignment. Soul is what has body in alignment. The only thing that should have body in alignment is soul. And the only thing that should have soul in alignment is spirit. That's why you need a spiritual awakening, not a soul awakening. Soul has been awakened this entire time, holding the steering wheel to who you are, but it should have never been in control of the car. If you think about a horse, the most powerful horse you've ever seen in the history of your life, think about this massive, powerful horse. Well, that horse needs a rider. Spirit is the metaphor soul is the metaphor for the horse. It's powerful, but it needs a rider. The moment that that horse has a rider, the combination of that becomes something powerful. So when you have your spiritual awakening, spirit gets soul in alignment. Soul has body in alignment. Now you are aligned mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Right now, you're not. And so that's why you're reacting. That's why you're having emotional decisions, making emotional decisions. That's why you are suffering unnecessarily, because soul was never supposed to be in control. Soul's just the horse. It needs the rider to become unlocked. Once the rider comes out, that being spirit, spirit is going to get soul in alignment. Spirit is not only is spirit the most powerful version of you, spirit is the only version of you that can communicate with God. Soul can't communicate with God, only spirit can. Body can bow to God, but body can't communicate with God. Spirit is the only version of you that can communicate with God, period. And when you understand that, everything begins to transform. That's why you have a spiritual awakening. But what am I awakening from? You're awakening from the illusion. The illusion of what? Of a separate self. Right now, there's two versions of you. There's spirit, which is who you really are. And then there's the character that you've created. Your me, your persona, your ego, your reputation, your wounds, your pain, the culmination of all of that. That's all a spiritual awakening is. It's when you are no longer identifying with the character that you've created. How did the character come to be? That's important. The character came to be because your authenticity was fractured. Something happened to you in the past, whether it happened to you in childhood or when in your early teens. Something happened that cracked your authenticity. Your authenticity was fractured because of some pain you experienced from some person. A parent may have done something to you, an auntie, an uncle, a grandparent. Somebody did something to you. And when they did that thing to you, it fractured your authenticity. That's when your ego came to be. Your ego came to protect the inner child. Your ego came to protect you from your wounds. But here's what happened, beloved. Your ego became too powerful. It became too powerful. And the more you identified with your ego, the more powerful it became. And now it's too powerful. It's making decisions for you. It makes you think you're different from everyone else. It has you convinced that God is somewhere outside of you. It makes you think that love comes from other people. Your ego wants to be in control. It's not concerned about you being happy. It doesn't care about whether you're rich or poor. The only thing your ego cares about is reigning over your life, like it's been this entire time. Now, it started out very innocently because it came to protect you from further pain. But at some point in time, it started to gain momentum and more momentum and more momentum because you were identifying with your ego. You may have even said that before. I got a big ego. I love my personality. All of that's the character. So that's how it came to be. Now, your ego did its job. Your ego only came to protect you from further pain. It did its job, but now it's in the way. The very thing that came to protect you from further pain is causing you all of your suffering right now. All of your pain, all of your suffering comes from the ego. Why? Because your ego can't live in this moment. It can only exist in the future or the past. So your ego is the one that has you bouncing back and forth between the future and the past, because that's what gives the ego significance. It can't exist in this moment. You can only project it onto the moment, but it can't exist in this moment. So it has you focusing on the future. Ooh, what about this? What about that? What about this? Or it has you focus on the past. Remember when this happened. Remember when that happened. Remember when this happened. Because all of that gives your ego significance. It doesn't want you to be in the present moment. Why? Because the present moment is where the truth lives. It can't live in this moment. It can only live in the future or in the past. And that's why you always bouncing back and forth between the future and the past. Because that's what gives your ego significance. Nothing else. Does that make sense? That was a whole ego TED talk right there. Self-awareness. Self-awareness. There's only way. There's only way. And that's why I say, I see you, Chris. That's why I say, to you guys, and again, that's no knock on religion, but religion can't solve that problem. You know what I mean? It only self-awareness can solve that problem. Religion has its benefits. Self-awareness has its benefits, but you got to get rid of the self-awareness is the only thing that's going to help you to dismantle the ego, dismantle the character. The character has to be dismantled. And the only thing that can dismantle the character is self-awareness. You can't do it any other way. If that was the case, think about it. Religion been around damn near since the beginning of the time. If that was the case, we would have all these self-aware people walking around. Why aren't all these self-aware people walking around? Because it can't take you to self-awareness. It can make you more knowledgeable about certain things. I'll give you that. It can make you more knowledgeable about historical events and all of that. I'll give you all of that. But can it take you to self-awareness? Hell no. Can it dismantle your ego? Hell no. Can it take you to self-mastery? Hell hard no. Everything has its limitations, including you. We limit it in certain areas of our lives, right? So everything has its limitations. And once you understand that, we're looking, moving to my brothers. I tell you, my students this all the time. My brother's been a pastor for damn near 30 years. There's not a self-aware bone in his body. And he one of the coldest pastors in the game. No awareness. Because the Bible's not going to take you to awareness. It was never designed to take you to awareness. And again, I'm not knocking the Bible. I can't blame the Bible for something that it was never created to do. It was never created to take you to awareness. Never, never, never. If that's the case, we'd all be self-aware. You've been going to church your whole life. You'd be the most self-aware person on the planet. You didn't put in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You'd be the most self-aware person on the planet right now. You'd be teaching self-awareness somewhere. If that's what religion was about, it's never about that. That's why they won't tie the ropes together. They won't tie the ropes together because it was never about that. That's why people won't tie the ropes together. Yeah, he was. He was. That part right there, Elaine, I know. And again, that's no knock on, I'm not here to bash religion or to talk about it. It has nothing to do about all of that. I'm just saying certain things are designed to do certain things for you. You don't use a hammer when you need a screwdriver. Certain things are designed to do certain things for you. And religion was never designed to take you to self-awareness, ever. That's why so many of you guys have been going to church your whole life and you didn't have, you didn't have a spiritual awakening. If it could take you to a spiritual awakening, this would be the most powerful country in the world because there's a church on every corner. If it could take you to a spiritual awakening, this would be the most powerful country in the world because you can go walk outside with a blindfold on and walk straight into a church. I can take you outside right now, put a blindfold on you and tell you to just start walking. You're going to stumble right into a church. There's churches everywhere. So if it was about that, then why isn't all these people awakened right now? Why all this pain going on? Why all this suffering going on? Why all this homelessness going on? Because people aren't awakened. So you got to understand mental capacity, spiritual capacity, and physical capacity. If you don't understand the three, when you understand the three, then you'll understand why people are not self-aware. You got to understand mental capacity, spiritual capacity, and physical capacity. You got to understand the three, excuse me. You said what, Sadie? You said what taught me, or who taught me, Sadie? You mean who taught me, or what do you mean? Let me see what her question is real quick before. Oh, I've got several mentors with respect to that, but my story is, I'm gonna share my story real quick before I get out of here. So I'm at a Starbucks, right, minding my business, just doing me, and I don't know. I'm in Arizona at the time. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona at the time. It's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I never forget. I'm sipping. It's middle of the summer. If anyone's ever been to Scottsdale, Arizona, or Arizona, period, anytime near the summer, I'm talking about it's ridiculously hot. Okay, Candy, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's ridiculously hot. I'm in Scottsdale, North Scottsdale to be exact, Grayhawk area. So, anyways, I'm sitting there minding my own business. Drinking a mocha frappuccino and just contemplating life, right? Just looking out at the distance, and I'm sitting outside. And if any of you guys have ever been to Arizona, what you're going to know is that when the outdoor restaurants and different places like that, they have mister systems, right? They're mister systems everywhere. So yeah, it's still hot outside, but the mister systems kind of keep the temperature down just slightly, not a lot, but just slightly. Anyways, so I'm sitting outside underneath the mister system, minding my own business. And this lady walks up to me. Now, at the time, I've got on my God's Boy shirt. For anybody that's seen any of my videos, I'm wearing my God's Boy clothing line. Again, just minding my business by myself. And this lady walks up to me, tallest lady that I'd ever seen. She was at least 6'3" with flats on. But she was muscular, but not like buff muscular, but she just toned. She was really toned. She's fit. Older white lady. Just walked up out of nowhere, 6'3". 6'3" on a woman is tall. I don't know if you've ever seen 6'3" on a woman that's wearing flats. But I'm sitting down, so I'm looking up and I'm like, man, she's so tall. But anyways, she said, I knew I would find you today. And she had this huge purse, right? But it was almost like one of those bags that you would be walking on, that you would take to the beach. Like if you just want to go hang out on the beach. It was that kind of bag. Anyways, she pulled out this book that looked like it was thousands of years old. This book looked old. I'm talking about a real book from when kings and different people like that, right, ruled the earth. And she handed me the book. And when she handed me the book, I didn't know, like I'm keep in mind, I don't know this woman. She just walked up. She talking about she knew she would meet me today and all these other things like that. And she handed me the book, right? No label on the book, no title. The book's made of real leather. And I'm talking about, it had like all these brass buckles on it. I'm talking a real book. The type of book I haven't seen one like that in years. Like the type when they take them pens and they write everything like that, and they dip it in the ink and they write book like that. Anyways, so I don't know and so I'm asking the lady, do I pay you for the book? She was like, no, you don't. I don't need anything from the book. She was like, just read the book. And I'm keeping in mind, I'm looking at the lady like I'm confused. I don't know if somebody filming us right now. I don't know what's going on. And so I'm saying, okay, and what do I do after I read it? She said, you'll know what to do. And she said, and after you study the book, give the book to someone else. I said, okay. So I'm sitting there again. So she takes off. And from that day, I never saw that lady again. So she takes off walking. Now I'm sitting there at the Starbucks, still got my mocha frappuccino sits on it. So I opened the book just to see, because the book is heavy. It's huge. So I opened the book just to see. I read just a couple pages. Just that couple pages that I read blew my mind. I shut the book immediately, jumped in the car, went home. Let me tell you what happened that day. Coach, if Coach is on here, she'll tell you. Let me tell you what happened that day. At that time, I was running a successful luxury rental car business. I was doing all these major things at the time. I shut all of that down. I stopped doing everything. I locked myself in my room for weeks. I called everybody that I was in business with at the time, and I told them I'm out. Keep everything. I don't want anything. Nobody owes me anything. I'm out. I get up, I go shower, I go to the gym, I get me something to eat, I come back and get in that book. Get up, take a shower, go get me something to eat, go to the gym, I come back, I get in that book. I'm in this book. I'm in it. I'm not calling people. People call, man, you all right, man? What's going on? I didn't say nothing to nobody. I'm studying, taking notes. I damn near rewrote the book because all of my notes were, and some of you guys might know that right now. All of my notes, I had taken so many notes that my notes were damn near a book by themselves, right? So boom, I got my notes, and now I'm just studying the notes every day until I became the information. And that moment transformed my entire life. So, when people ask me, how did, one day, I'm telling you right now, that moment right there is why all of my students are here. It's why all of the people all over the world, why my book is here, all of those things, so many things. And I never got an opportunity to thank that woman. I never got an opportunity to, that's my goal. That's my dream. My dream is not to go out and make $1 billion. My dream is to just run into that lady again at an airport, at a coffee shop somewhere, because I've never seen her again after that. But that moment changed my life forever. I was never the same again, and so I tell people this all the time, you're going to have those people. We talk about the doors. We talk about the mirrors, the windows and the doors. Certain people are going to come into your life. You don't know you need that person. You weren't looking for that person. You don't know that person's name. And that person is going to come into your life and they're going to change your life. And that's what she did. I was moving in a completely different direction. Once I studied that book and I mastered it, I started moving in this direction because this was the direction that I was always supposed to be moving in. And some of you guys are in that position right now. I'm like that lady for you. That lady did that for me, but I'm like that for some of you, for some of my students now. And now you're moving in a different direction and all of these other things like that. And you're becoming unlocked and you're becoming the most powerful version of yourself. So that's what it was all about. The book unlocked me, period. I'm going to tell you what really unlocks you. The book unlocked me, but what really unlocks you is not necessarily the book. What unlocks you is repetition. Listen to what I'm telling you. Listen to what I'm telling you. The book did its part, but that's not what unlocks you. What unlocks you is repetition. Repetition is the key to everything. And let me qualify that, because I could have read the book one time and it would have done nothing for me. But every single time that I went back to read that book again, I discovered something new. I saw something that I didn't see the first time. Something made sense. This clicked over here. That clicked over there. A different part of my consciousness. You got to understand that. Every time you learn something new, you become someone new. You see the world through the arrangement of your mind, not through anything else. That's why you see the world in a unique way, because you're seeing it through the arrangement of your mind. You got to understand that, beloved. So when I read that book through repetition, I was tearing programming off of me. Every time I read that book, I was tearing programming off of me. I go back and read it again. I'm tearing programming and conditioning off of me. And that's what you're doing. The real you is buried underneath all of your programming and conditioning, all of your pain, all of your suffering, all of the stories, all of the trauma. You're there, but you're buried underneath all of that. And every time you are put in the work through that repetition, you're just tearing off more programming and conditioning. You might not feel it in that moment, but I promise you it's happening. Let me give it to you in a way I know you don't miss it. Let me give it to you in a way I know you don't miss it. Let's say you got a head full of hair. Beautiful head full of hair. And I walk up to you and I take a single hair from your head, just a single fiber of hair, you're not going to notice that. That's like reading the book one time. And then I walk up again and I take another fiber of hair from your head, just a single fiber, walk away. You're not going to notice that. That's reading the book again. But if I keep coming back day after day after day after day, and I remove, at some point in time, you're going to be missing it's going to be a patch back here of hair missing. And that's what awareness is. It's like every time you study it, it's only like a single fiber of hair. You don't see the impact that it makes. Just like if I take that from your head, you won't see the impact that it makes. But when you're doing it with such repetition, at some point in time, all of that's going to be gone back there. And that's when the awakening happens. So if you're studying something once or twice or 3 times, it's like me taking a single fiber of hair from your head, you won't miss it. Some of you guys, when you brush your hair, this much is hair in the brush than there is there, so that's what you got to understand. It's all about repetition. You become what you repeatedly do, not what you do occasionally. You got to understand that. You become what you repeatedly do, not what you do occasionally. You want to become the best in the world? Outstudy everybody else, outwork everybody else, outthink everybody else, outhustle everybody else, and you transcend everybody else. That's how I look at it. All right. Let me set my mic down on that.